Live on DSTV channel 421, Go TV channel 125. This is JoyNews Prime with me, Pius Kojo Baka. Coming up in our headlines tonight, Ghana Armed Forces defends decision to gun down 3 armed men in conflict-ravaged Bawku and warns against drawing the military into direct armed confrontation, as that could result in fatal consequences. Details as former President John Dramani Mahama urges the military to work hand in hand with the police to provide safety and security in Bawku. Former MP for Amasaman, Emmanuel Ni Okainlai, who switched to compete for the NDC Ododio MP slot, losing to contender Alfred Kote Ashi. Later in the bulletin, we'll tell you why mistresses or side chicks may face hurdles in court for seeking redress against married partners. We are your home of independent, fearless, and credible journalism. Please stay tuned in. Thanks so much for your company. Now to our very first story. The Ghana Armed Forces has warned its soldiers in Bawku will not hesitate to defend themselves if attacked by factions in the conflict there. In a statement, they noted that engaging the military in direct armed confrontation could have fatal consequences. The warning follows accusation by MP for the area, Mahama Yariga, that soldiers from 11 Mechanized Battalion deployed to maintain peace in the area had picked up 3 civilians and executed them without provocation.
Eyewitnesses saw everything that happened. These boys were not exchanging fire with anybody. They were actually apprehended by the soldiers because they were sitting. They were not, one ran away, but the others were sitting there because if I'm doing nothing, I haven't committed an offense and I'm sitting at my base and you are coming, why should I run? But one of them ran. The 3 that thought that there was nothing wrong with waiting for soldiers to come to them, they got apprehended by the soldiers. They beat them up. The assemblyman came out and pleaded with the soldiers to release the boys. They refused. And then ultimately, they shot the boys. He gets some of the community. So when soldiers do that, you expect them to now come and tell you, no, we just beat them up. They annoyed us, and then we started to shoot them. Don't forget that these soldiers, last year, they went and shot about 7 young men. Yeah. When I took them on, they issued a statement saying that they neutralized those people. I took the matter to Shraj. Last month, Shraj wrote back to me saying that the soldiers deny killing anybody on that day at that community. So clearly, they would deny. But let's to the community to find out exactly what happened.
Yeah, but Shraj cannot stop. Shraj cannot stop at listening to the soldiers and say, since they've denied, that's the end of it. Because it is investigating.
I'm just telling you the attitude.
All right.
Give me the attitude that they will deny. Even when they have committed the offense. Even in this instance where they publicly admitted, they said they neutralized, they used the word neutralized. And you heard the MP also saying that they said, they neutralized young men who were engaged in the exchanges with them.
But in a statement, the Ghana Armed Forces denied killing civilians, but explains that it responded to an attack from armed men, which resulted in the death of 3 persons. Now, JoyNews Data, a member of our security desk, has the rest of the details from the military.
They went ahead to say that it is worth mentioning that about 8:30 p.m. Same day, my own troops here, the Ghana Armed Forces, conducted a night, foot patrol around Hasinia School at Sabonguri, were fired upon by 4 gunmen. This is the latest that we are learning, that the troops returned fire, spontaneously, neutralizing 3 of the assailants, and the 4th suspect managed to escape. So the troops retrieved 1 AK-47 rifle loaded with 16 rounds of 7.2 by 39 MML ammunition. Ghana police service also team arrived at the location subsequently to convey the deceased assailant to the morgue. And so they end by saying that, it is instructive to note that the directly engaging the military is a development that could result in fatal consequences, as troops will not spare no opportunity to defend themselves as well as protect residents of Bawku. The armed forces said they've actually noticed some concerns allegation by some individuals in Bawku and then the media that soldiers deployed on Operation Made-up Buri to restore calm in the area have killed 3 innocent Kusasi youth at Sabongui, a suburb of Bawku. They say that it is also alleged, they call it an allegation, that the assailants were initially held in custody by some troops and consequently executed. It is they say it was further suggested that the Bisiga assemblymen, personally approached the Bawku detachment at about some 7:30 p.m. to negotiate the release of the deceased assailants. So they call this allegations and say they are not founded.
Former President and flag bearer of the NDC, John Dramani Mahama, in a statement, is urging the military to work hand in hand with the police to provide safety and security in Bawku. My colleague Papani Ashali joins me via Zoom with details of that statement. Papani, thanks so much for joining me. What more has the former president been saying?
Well, he starts the statement by saying that he's deeply saddened and disturbed by recent developments in the Bawku municipality and the killing of 3 men, as confirmed by soldiers from the Ghana Armed Forces. Now he says that while he recognizes that the security forces face a difficult task of securing peace in the Bawku area, the military must work hand in hand with the police to provide safety and security in the Bawku area and across the nation. Now he says, as a former commander-in-chief of the armed forces, he's urging the military personnel to remember their duty to protect the people and uphold the peace. Now, he's also asking for the people of Bawku to work together with them to ensure justice is served and peace is restored in Bawku.
Thank you very much, Papani Ashali. And it is important that we bring to your attention that, of course, the probe is going to focus on this developing story. Let's go live and engage host of the probe, MFR Pau, for more. MFR, thanks so much for joining me on JoyNews Prime, I should say. What more are we to expect on the probe?
So like you've been saying, we are focusing our lenses reluctantly on, once again, on Bawku. I say reluctantly because this conflict has been lingering for a long time and it's become almost tiring. And from what we are learning, at least we focus on it because 6 more lives have been lost in spite of the curfew that has been put in place. A number of questions then comes up for us. No one is safe in Bawku from what we've been hearing from the MCE, and that no place in Bawku can now be considered as a safe zone as well. So the key question, what exactly is going on in Bawku? Who are the main beneficiaries of this particular conflict that has lingered from 1951 all the way till now? Who is actually funding the conflict and who is benefiting? These are the key concerns we are hoping to address. And then where exactly are the indigents getting this kind of sophisticated weapons from that the military, we are hearing, has engaged in some fire with them? They've retrieved AK-47 rifles. We've also heard about some locally manufactured bombs that were going to be used to bomb a Guel filling station in Bawku, amongst others. You know also that quite recently, we lost an immigration officer. He died together with his colleagues, at least. They sustained gunshot wounds, but he died. I'm talking about Mote, an immigration officer who died last year and was buried. So these are key questions that we are asking, really. There were some Arms for Cash initiative that was implemented some time back. What has happened to that? Where are we getting the sophisticated weapons from? We are seeking answers tonight, and we'll get to speak to the Peace Council also on this tonight. We'll get to hear from the Small Arms Commission as well. We'll get to hear from the MC for the area, also hear from the Regional Security Council, the chairman himself, which is the regional minister. Amongst others, we'll also get to hear from Dr. Victor Doke. He's done extensive work when it comes to Bawku. And then also, like I said, from the Peace Council, Sheikh Karimia will join us on the probe. We're seeking, as a step, of finding solutions to this particular issue, whether there's a political will and who is benefiting from this Kusasi and Mampriti conflict that has been going for a long time. So that's what we are discussing tonight on the probe, and you definitely want to join in with your thoughts and comments as well on what you know about this particular conflict and what can be done, because we are really tired of the situation.
Certainly, MFR Powell, host of The Probe, and of course, it has 8 p.m. Do make a date, and you can't afford to miss out. Let's switch topics to some other stories. Former MP for Amasaman, Emmanuel Ni Lai, who switched to compete for the NDC Odododiodo MP slot, has had his political vision quashed after losing to his only contender, Alfred Kote Ashi, in a near-chaotic contest. Stanley Nibleu reports.
The Sunday primaries had heavy security deployment from the Accra Region and Jamestown Division of the Ghana Police Service. Early hours into the polls, reports of chaos induced by misunderstanding and alleged electoral malpractice were recorded among supporters of the aspirants. This resulted in one injury. The chaos was, however, brief as the police swiftly intervened. The police will not take further chances, so just before the counting of the ballots began, the police with water cannons moved into position ready to foil any chaos. 3 people filed to contest the Odododiodo NDC slot after the incumbent MP, Edwin Need Lante Vanderpoy, announced that he was not going to seek another term. However, only 2 of the aspirants were approved by the party to contest because the third person, Michael Taki Yaboy, was disqualified a month to the polls. His disqualification angered his supporters in the constituency, who later stormed and destroyed properties at the NDC headquarters. At the end of Sunday's primaries, Emmanuel Ni Lai lost the parliamentary bid to Alfred Kote Ashi.
Now, at the end of the voting, the elected parliamentary candidate for the NDC for Odododiodo is Alfred Ni Kote Ashi.
Kote Ashi polled 1,209 of the total valid votes cast, as against Okain Laye, who managed to get 952 votes. For Kote Ashi, the zeal to invest in education to transform the socio-economic lives of his constituents drives him.
Odododiodo is not one of those villages where we need our roads constructed. It's not one of those villages where we need to extend electricity. It's not one of those villages that doesn't have health centers. Odododiodo, we are fortunate to have all these amenities and facilities. The most important thing is to invest in the people. Make our people employable so they can be gainfully employed. Put our people to school. Give them good education so they can find their feet.
Ni Okain Laye was a 2-time MP for the Amasaman constituency. He switched constituency to Odododiodo after he lost the 2020 NDC primaries to his contender, Sedem Afenyo in Amasaman. His switch was endorsed by the party's amended constitution. He is not the first to have switched to a different constituency in the NDC. Incumbent MP for Obom Domiabra, Sophia Karen Akuaku, also switched to the Yewaso Central constituency during the party's last year's primaries, but failed to cling the nod to represent the NDC in that constituency. In Odododiodo, it is certain that the NDC will have a new face representing the constituency in the December polls.
Still within the camp of the NDC, the party has hit hard at the government over the delayed completion of infrastructure projects in the Ashanti region. Among stalled projects is the Phase 2 of the Kejitiari Development Project and the second phase of the Kumasi International Airport. NDC Regional Secretary Frank Amwakuhini, at a press briefing, expressed worry about the delay and its impact on development. Nana Boachi Adom has more.
The second phase of the Kumasi Central Market, the Krofro Market and Phase 2 of the Kumasi International Airport are among several stalled projects in the Ashanti region. The delay in the completion of the Krofro Market, Kejitiari Development and the Kumasi Airport projects, as well as other hospital projects, has led to several protests by traders and residents. According to the Ashanti Regional NDC Secretary Frank Amwakohini, the government has failed the region.
Government has failed Ashanti region.
For that, you're still watching JoyNews Prime with me, Pius Kunjubaka. We are taking a breather. We'll be right back. Hello, welcome back to JoyNews Prime, and we'll go back to our earlier story where the National Democratic Congress has hit hard at the government over the delayed completion of infrastructure projects in the Ashanti region. More in this report.
Of the Kumasi International Airport are among several stalled projects in the Ashanti region. The delay in the completion of the Krufro Market, Kedetiari Development and the Kumasi Airport projects, as well as other hospital projects, has led to several protests by traders and residents. According to the Ashanti Regional NDC Secretary Frank Amwakohini, the government has failed the region.
Government has failed Ashanti region, and there is no iota of doubt about that. I mean, a region that is your World Bank in terms of foods should not be treated this badly in terms of development, in terms of opportunities, among others. In fact, Ashanti region should have seen 2 or 3 times the development Eastern region has under Akufo-Addo. And we believe that Ashanti region has been sidelined so far as the Akufo-Addo administration is concerned. And it reflects even in his appointments, his ministers, his CEOs, among others. Most of the key people who are Ashantis and could get opportunity under Akufo-Addo and help the Ashanti region have all been sidelined. And we believe that this current setup, MPP setup, has nothing to offer Ashanti region.
The NDC flag bearer, John Mahama, is expected to take his Building Ghana tour to the Ashanti region next week. Mr. Mwakohini outlined the itinerary of the former president while in Kumasi.
His Excellency John Mahama will stay for additional 2 days in the region. And whilst in the region, he's going to engage with organized labor, traders, market women, students, citizens, and everyone that we may come across within the communities that we have enlisted for this kind of engagement. We believe that this series of activities will bring His Excellency and the party much closer to the people.
Lawyers emphasized that courts in Ghana won't uphold agreements or contracts conflicting with laws or public policy, creating challenges for mistresses suing married partners. The legal system strongly values the sanctity of marriage. That is why mistresses may find it difficult suing partners, because the courts prioritize family preservation, viewing extramarital affairs as illegal. Now, private legal practitioners Gertrude Amoko Ama and Richard Obeng Mensah highlight the complexity in providing or proving damages or legal grounds for compensation due to the need for substantial evidence of harm or misconduct in the legal framework. They spoke on the law.
There are certain elements that must be present within an agreement for it to be a valid contract. There must have been an offer, acceptance, some consideration was given. The parties must have been in the capacity to contract. But that is not all. Aside that, whatever agreement the parties may have entered into must not be illegal. So the position of the law is that an otherwise valid contract, which may have met all these elements that I have just mentioned, will not be enforceable because they are actually illegal. What do we mean by illegality? There are mainly 2 sources. Either the agreement in question is contrary to some statute, some law expressly, is against the dictates of a particular law. And the more interesting concept, that agreement may be one that is contrary to public policy. It may not be against a particular law or the letter of a particular law. But like I'm saying, the other leg of these contracts that are illegal are the bunch of contracts that may be contrary to public policy. Okay. So you may not expressly find a law that says that you cannot be someone's paramour or you cannot be someone's mistress or what have you. But the notion or the idea that this arrangement is one that is promoting sexual immorality, fornication, like the judge said, between a married party and, some other person outside of that marriage. And the consideration or that agreement is being entered into purely, like the judge noted in his ruling, purely on the basis of sexual favors or sexual activities or things that are incidental to that. That is a clear example of something that is contrary to public policy. The law would not enforce a contract that seeks to promote immorality.
This issue that we are talking about is not marriage. It's either fornication or adultery. So even in our Ghanaian society, we cannot even use marriage organized under customary law to support it. Because even when somebody wants to go beyond a wife, the law requires that even the second one, it should not be a side chick, but you have to marry the person.
A memorial service has been held for famous Ghanaian watch seller Hajia Imoru Moninaratu, affectionately called Auntie Muni, today at the cantonments in Accra. Now, patrons, family and friends gathered to bid farewell to the woman who made a name for herself selling the popular delicacy. More in the following reports.
Those were some prayers being said to help transition the celebrated Wache seller, Imoru Moninaratu, popularly known as Auntie Muni, to eternal rest. She was known for her delicious and authentic wache, a traditional Ghanaian dish made from rice and beans, served with a variety of toppings and sides. Patrons and well-wishers shared their fond memories.
She was a very kind person. She was one of the reasons why you sometimes want to go there, not just the wache. If you get to meet her, you'd have a nice time. She would make you laugh. She and I always had that Dagomba thing going with her greeting, and she'd always be teasing me that I'm not learning well enough. You know, and my brother and I, we were here representing the Auntie Muni Wache Customers Association of the whole Ghana. Yes. So we had a special dua done, and the Imam had a special prayer on our request. And our request was very simple, that the quality of the wache shall not change. It shall not change. Yes. Auntie Muni, we are still there. Wherever you are, we dare your back. We go chop the wache like that.
The fact that when it gets to Salah, then she would call and ask, Israel, umbeji wache nkoma joyful. Then I would make arrangements and somebody would go to her home. She was living in Osu at the time, and then they would go get the food, and she would give us a lot of food, you know, so then the office would enjoy. Those who are in the office will get to enjoy. That's one of my fondest memories.
She'll be missed by all of us. Honestly, she had a smile for everyone anytime you went to buy her wache, and we developed a special friendship, maybe because we worked in the media and we were always shouting her out on radio and the likes, but we patronized her business a lot, and she was very grateful for that. And I remember an incident that happened when there was an issue with the food, but she handled it pretty well. Over the years, Auntie Muni has fed us with a smile, and that's what I will remember about her, that her customer service was top-notch.
While the void left by Auntie Muni's departure is immense, her family expressed their commitment to keeping her legacy alive. Al-Hassan Abdul Rashid is her youngest son.
She's a serial businesswoman. She started different businesses before getting into wache, and wache eventually became her business. She's been doing this for the past almost 30 years. This is a huge legacy she's left. She always believed in impacting people's life and believe in the people, and she sees the business as a social business. And I intend to carry on the legacy of believing in people and loving people, understanding people in terms of business and other stuff.
Her contribution to the culinary landscape will be remembered fondly by those who had the pleasure of experiencing her delicious wache and warm hospitality.
And may her soul rest in perfect peace. Before we go, Ghana placed Mozambique in a make-or-break encounter in their last group game at the ongoing Africa Cup of Nations, where defeat to the Black Stars could end their campaign in Ivory Coast. Ahead of the game, football fans have been speaking to my colleague Kenneth Ijisi about the expectations of the senior national team.
Defeat to Mozambique tomorrow means the Black Stars will definitely be out of the Africa Cup of Nations in Ivory Coast, unless results from the other teams in the group go our way. We're in Nima, the birthplace of the poster boy of Black Stars, Mohamed Kudus, to ask football fans what they think the chances of Black Stars are ahead of the game against Mozambique. You're live on JoyNews. Do you think the Black Stars can beat Mozambique tomorrow and qualify?
Inshallah, for sure, if the coach did the right thing by putting in the right players at the right positions. Because Nike Williams we used to watch him at Atletico Bilbao. He used to strike from the wings. But now we are seeing different things altogether. And you see, this player, Richard Lamptey, even though he's a local player, I think is better, far better, I mean better than some of the so-called professional players. You should give him a chance. He can give us results. Doing the right thing, we are going to beat Mozambique, inshallah.
And that's all for JoyNews Prime. I am Pius Kojo Baka. For more stories, do log on to myjoyonline.com. Do make a date with a probe at 8 p.m. Bye-bye.